what neurofeedback does so beautifully is to retune our brain's own perceptive capabilities to be more accurate. Our bad behaviors, the behaviors that we wish to not do anymore, are a result of circuits that are formed for some reason. We don't even know why, and truthfully, we don't have to know why. They're there. We know what they are. We can observe them. Why do I act that way? It's called Hebb's law. Circuits that fire together wire together. They will only assemble out of need, or whatever that may be. And the need may be a misperception. Your brain may think it needs this kind of reactivity to a situation when it truthfully doesn't, or maybe it did 20 years ago and it doesn't need it anymore. That's the way the circuits continue to fire, because that's what they've become routinized, because they fall into a rut. All of these circuit behaviors are habits, and habits can be changed. It takes a while to change them. This isn't something that happens overnight. But the buildup of those inefficient circuit patterns that are not really serving your purpose in your actual life are there, and you need to unwind those. The beauty of the human brain, it does exquisitely. If it's not useful, it'll get rid of it every day. It experiments with things and goes, yeah, that's not really useful to me, and it just discards them. That's the beauty of the human brain as opposed to any of the other animals. We're different in that regard, in that our brains are so much more sophisticated and complicated. Neurofeedback like this, I have the opportunity now with technology to show your brain what it's doing, what its action is in real time. We just train it over time to take control of its own signal. Your brain is locked inside your skull, floating in some water in the dark. It doesn't really know anything, just what we give it. And what we give it is really, really important. So we want to give it truth.
With this kind of approach with neurofeedback, what is your belief on that approach, that this could be more beneficial for people? How is this going to change their life? How is this going to handle those mental health concerns that they have?
You've been struggling with anxiety for 15 years. You're in your early 30s. This has been with you since you remember, since you were a teenager. I've always felt slightly anxious. It just seems to be getting worse over time. And I just need to do something about it. I've been to a therapist. I've tried some anti-anxiety medications. They haven't, really solved the problem. When I don't take them, I still feel bad. Or, I take them, I get side effects and all the rest of it. The argument that I would make to you is that anxiety, any diagnosable mental health challenge that somebody comes to us with, can always be circled down to what are the brain circuit irregularities that are in your brain as opposed to anybody else's? Where would that behavior, what kind of behaviors does that dysregulation manifest as? Interestingly, similar dysregulated patterns can manifest in several different ways. It's not a direct line necessarily. What we do here is what's called a QEEG, a quantitative electroencephalogram. It's a very sophisticated analytic tool where we record your brain waves, we compare it to a database of people who aren't struggling with anything, and we're looking for differences. Where is your brain different than these other people's brains? It's about connectivity values. How well connected, how efficient, how fluid is the activity across all the different locations in your head that we can measure. We traditionally do 19 different channels, 19 different locations. And we're looking for the differences between you and the high-performing group of people. Those dysregulated areas of contribution, we then have a protocol plan to train those particular areas to be more vital, to be more robust, to be more efficient, to really better contribute to the processing of the whole. So that your expression of anxiety, which may involve 4, 5, 6 different locations in your brain that are all contributing to this feeling that you have, by increasing the efficiency of processing and analysis that your brain needs to do to arrive at the best decision for you that actually comports with what's actually going on around you, and therefore you won't feel anxious about it. Your brain will know, and therefore you will know with confidence. We're teaching the brain behavior patterns that impacts back to you to reduce all of the symptomatic expression, the depression, the panic, the anxiety, the sleep disorders, the whatever manifests from that internal recognition that your brain has about its own dysfunction. It doesn't know how to fix it. It just goes, I don't feel so good. But that's the best answer your brain can come up with. It needs to be more efficient in its processing so that challenge never arises to your consciousness.
All the while that you're talking about that, John, what I'm thinking about or who I'm thinking about is a loved one who is suffering from the effects of grief in her life, gone through all those traditional methods there is, and still she is not feeling her best self. She confessed that to me the other day. With that, I'd like to know about any personal experience or some distinctive experience that you've had in the past or the prior years with rewiring mental health. If please could you tell us one in particular that stuck to you that people can benefit from or can get inspiration from to try neurofeedback with the balanced brain?
Clients who go through our training program, we do far more than just neurofeedback here. We're very mindful of and utilize actually a very holistic framework, functionally medicine oriented in the way we think of things. It's all root cause focused. Neurofeedback is not a standalone fix it thing. It's a useful tool. It's a very powerful tool, but it needs to be done in concert with a lot of other changes that people need to make in their life to really get the full benefit. People who will come through here they'll do the neurofeedback part, but they won't take our suggestions on changing their diet or altering their sleep patterns, or perhaps I've actually told people quit your job. Your job is not going to help you survive in this world. You need to find something else to do. I have a lot of examples of what that might look like. I won't go into too far into it, but there are environments that contribute to a continuing assault on best performance. And people are coming to us for a few hours a week and getting really good information about how their brain functions. And if the rest of their life is havoc and horror, this is not going to be as impactful as they wish. And to be absolutely honest, I'm going to come in here and I got all these, I don't have to change anything else in my life. I'm just going to do this. The balanced brain, this is what we promote and what we profess and what we know to be true. You really have to address all of the other aspects of your life in order to have the performance that you're looking for. I think that's just, a basic truth that anybody needs to understand. There is no instant gratification in anything. You want to instantly feel less anxious. Take a pill. You'll feel instantly less anxious. It's not going to solve your anxiety problem, but you will, quote unquote, feel less anxious. You stop taking the pill, you're right back where you started. The problem is much more global and involves many more moving parts. Clients who come to us who really do take on the responsibility for themselves. I can't change your diet. I don't feed you. I don't prepare your meals. You need to do that. You need to go out and take a walk. You need to be out in nature. You need to make friendship work. You need to resolve your issues with your family. You need to talk to them honestly about your feelings. What's the success rate of neurofeedback? It's a commonly asked question. It's 100%. You need to define success. I know I can change your brain circuit behaviors. How well that impacts how you behave in this world has all those other implications involved. Neurofeedback undeniably changes everyone's brain pattern behaviors. The rest of it is how well the entire system is managed, is how the ultimate behaviors that you operate out in the world.
What are your thoughts on the future of mental health?
The future of mental health is going to be a combination of a variety of things. It's going to be biology. It's going to be nutrition. It's going to be diet. It's going to be your diet platform. It's going to be sleep hygiene. It's going to be a lot of things that people don't necessarily think of as quote unquote mental health. It's going to be a rejection of pharmacology. There is no answer in pharmacology. I say that with confidence. There is a momentary time when someone might need a medication. They're in a deep dark hole, they're suicidal, they're ready to kill themselves. They might need an intervention for a few months from a medication. There's no solution in it. The solutions are changing your life completely, getting better brain habitry, better brain hygiene, as it were. and making sure that the system itself, the organic organ, is functioning as smoothly as possible. And then all of the other things around that. If you're in a toxic relationship, it has to end. You can't continue to stay in an abusive partnership with someone. That's going to spell trouble. I don't care who you are or how much resilience you think you might have. If you are drinking alcohol to excess, you have to stop. You're poisoning yourself. You need to give yourself the best shot you can. You can't just sit in a chair, eat potato chips, watch reality television, and expect to have a healthy body. It's not going to happen. So you need to do at least the basics. I'm not saying that people need to run out and join a gym and become Mr. Universe. That's not the point. The point is to have balance in all of the aspects of our lives. This has been going on for a long time. It's finally reached the level where you feel you have to do something about it, but it's been there for a really long time. Don't expect it to go away in 5 minutes. It doesn't happen that way. It's a matter of changing all the different perspectives on our lives, who we are, how we relate to our family, our friends, to our country, to our universe, to our earth. Everything is up for discussion, and it needs to be holistically looked at. You need to have mindfulness about how we operate in this world, the actions that we take, the actions we take within our relationships, our jobs, our families, all of it. It all has to be examined and looked at. The brain itself, the organ, I can help you with that. That's stuff you have to do, but you have to do it. In order to be a healthy person, you have to do it.